Our taste in film may seem destructive, but this is a productive dialogue. Damn it, your mother ate my dog.
Let me just get comfortable.
Get comfortable. Oh, Jesus.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Your Mother and My Dog, the podcast. I wrote down the number for this one because I always never know. It's 37. This is episode 37.
We might hit 40 by the end of the year.
Well, that depends if we record a second podcast this week or if we skip the week.
Right. We'd have to figure that out.
We'll have to talk. Not to get ahead of ourselves, but I've changed the movie that I want to do for next week.
I got that sense when you texted me a question, and I was like, he seems like he doesn't know.
Well, whenever I asked you about a movie, if you've seen a movie, it's to add to my list.
Okay.
It's not
for the immediate next episode sort of thing.
Not always.
Okay.
I can't remember what I asked you, but it's been changed, and I think you'll like it. I think you'll be like, "Oh, that's such a good idea," or you won't. But that's something that we'll talk about later on in the episode. Before we get to anything, though, we have to talk soccer.
We have to.
It's episode 3 of our soccer talk.
Mm-hmm.
The last time we recorded, Canada's still in it. Canada no longer in it.
No.
Sad, but that's okay. But
they got
Croatia,
the first international goal.
So yeah, they have 2 of them now.
Yeah.
2 of them. Croatia, a big win today. Do you, are you watching all the games, or are you just kind of paying attention?
I don't watch any of them live just because they mostly happen either when I'm asleep or I'm at work. But I do every day. I anxiously await a TSN, their YouTube channel. They put out a very good highlight video. It's usually 10 minutes long. I watch every one of those.
Wow.
So today I watched the highlights of the Croatia-Japan game. It was a nail biter.
For sure. I woke up this morning around 8 o'clock. So the first half was over, and it was 1-0 Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in a pool with some members of my family, and I've picked Croatia to beat Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And so far in the knockout round, going into today, I was 4 for 4 in my picks, and so I needed Croatia to win, and then they scored to tie it up really quick in the second half. And I watched the second half; nothing else happened, and then I had to leave for work, so I didn't see the penalties. But apparently, the Croatian goalie made a lot of saves, which is nice.
Yes, he did have some very nice saves, especially in the penalty kicks.
I mean, whenever a team only scores one time, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often. And it wasn't they missed their target. It was it was on target, just nicely saved.
Now Croatia gets Brazil, who many have tapped to win the whole thing. So
they do have a very good team.
So yeah, it should be a good one.
They whooped South Korea today.
Well, yeah, South Korea didn't really they weren't really supposed to do anything. They weren't really supposed to be there.
No, but I always root for the underdog. I really wanted them to win, and I was watching the highlights, and I was just oh boy, it was not looking good.
Well, if you're into underdog stories, tomorrow should be a good day. Tomorrow in podcast world, being December the 6th, when Morocco plays Spain, and Portugal plays Switzerland.
Right. I've actually think Morocco's actually been playing pretty well.
They did win the group.
Yeah, they've been playing nice. I'm excited to see if they can pull it off.
I picked Spain to win.
That's the smart choice.
But I picked Switzerland to beat Portugal, so that was my one risk.
Oh, they have a particular player on Portugal that happens to be very good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the thing with Ronaldo is that he plays. Well, he played for Manchester United up until the tournament.
Yeah.
A little bit of a prima donna, getting mad whenever they take him off, and he didn't really play all that well at Man U.
Hmm.
And then in this tournament, he got mad at his coach for taking him off might have been against South Korea or against somebody they played last round. I can't remember. So there's some trouble brewing there. Switzerland had a pretty good first round, so I
Okay.
took the
Well,
chance.
I respect it.
Thanks.
Now I wonder if is this the part of the podcast where I can ask you if I can address a complaint I have about Canada Post. Can I do that now?
Yeah. Before you do that, though, this is something that this happens a lot. I was in Vancouver this past weekend, and my partner's family members also had complaints about Canada Post. So just know that it's not going on deaf ears. We're hearing you, and we're making changes. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay, great. Well, I have something you can present to your management team. I was driving home yesterday from work, I guess, and I can't remember what I was
Sunday?
driving home from.
Sunday, though.
No, it was Sunday. I was driving home from something, and like you said, there was a man out there delivering mail, and I was like, "Oh, interesting." But now that makes sense because they have overtime on Sundays, apparently.
Yeah, that could have been me because I was down Jutland area.
It was not you.
Okay.
Because I saw the man in question, and it was definitely not you. Okay. Somebody was parked on Gorge Road in front of Gorge Road Hospital. Like on the road, there's nowhere you can pull over there. It's just a single lane road going the way he was parked on. And he didn't have his hazards on.
Ooh.
And he had like one piece of mail, and he jaywalked across to the house in question that he needed to deliver it to. That's all I saw, but I thought it interesting. He was on the road with no hazards, and people were like had to swerve around him and go into like oncoming traffic.
Yeah, the no hazards. That's pretty indefensible. I don't really have a excuse for that. I mean, I can like Gorge Road. Not a lot of this is our Victoria talk. Yeah, not a lot of places to park on that road.
Very true.
That is something that we can kind of get away with.
Yes. I would say like when I worked for Canadian Springs delivering water, every once in a while you do a little bit of a cheeky park and you're quick about it, but at least you put on the hazards.
Yeah, for sure. Jaywalking though, that's disgusting.
That's a inexcusable thing, really.
It's a busy road. I'll have to find out. Well, as of today, there was a list of all the routes that people were doing on the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So if I just would have to find what route that would have been, and then find out who it was, and then I can get them fired for you.
That's great. Thank you. Can you take their name tag when they leave, and so I can pin it on my wall?
Totally. We don't have name tags.
I know. I was trying to be funny in a short amount of time, and I said name tag, and I knew immediately you didn't have those.
Speaking of funny in a short amount of time, well, that would have been an okay segue for the movie, but we're not there yet.
Yeah.
Any other complaints? That's
all I can think of right now. There's a quick one I'll hit you with at my work, who half of our listener base happens to, be employed at. Mm-hmm. We have a mailroom. It's like in the warehouse that we are. Yeah. Every day somebody comes usually it's at around 1. Somebody comes and they pick up our mail. And usually it's the same person. Every once in a while, somebody new, including a person I paddle with. He's come like twice. But anyway, there was this lady, and she was kind of new, or new to me anyway. And she was just like, "You're supposed to go on take a certain path to the mail room. You have like little arrows on the ground, and they just weren't following the arrows." And I almost said something to them, but I didn't.
They weren't following the arrows.
Yeah, there's arrows to get to the mailroom because, it's an active warehouse. There's like forklifts and all sorts of crap, and you're supposed to follow the arrows to the mailroom, and they just didn't do it at all.
Oh, that was like a COVID thing.
No, not COVID.
But it's a dangerous heavy machinery arrow thing.
Mm-hmm. And it's just so we know where all the people who aren't used to being in the warehouse are, so we keep our eyes on them.
Yeah, it's tough. Like if you've never delivered to a place before or never been to a place before, to kind of like know the.
That's also true.
So like whenever I go somewhere new, it's always awkward if I like don't know the door to go in, and then somebody like you yells at me and.
Right. Well, I was going to tell them nicely. I was like, "Oh, you're supposed to follow the arrows." I wasn't going to be like, "Hey, idiot," nothing like that.
Yeah, that would have been nice to do. Yeah, I see. So I deliver around the hospital in which you work at, but so I drive past it every day, and I saw the truck coming out of it. So I think I know the guy who does it normally. Nice guy.
Oh yeah,
nice guy. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice guy. Okay.
Nice guy. Speaking of nice guys, I bet you are you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, the follower of the week though is a woman this week. Unfortunately, I'd chosen a woman. It would have been great if it wasn't, but so our follower of the week this week is a woman, a USA Today bestselling author.
Oh.
She has signed copies available via website, available at Amazon, ebook, and print. 4,020 posts, 1,344 followers. Faith Marlowe is our follower of the week. Faith Marlowe. She has a lot of posts about her books, and one of her books is called Being Miss Dracula. Oh. So I think it's like a horror book. Maybe she has a lot of horror books. Soul Syndicate, kind of teen angst, sci-fi, that kind of genre.
Okay. They got pictures of cats on here. I like that.
Yeah, pictures of cats, pictures of her books, pictures of herself. I don't know why.
She seems very prolific.
I don't know why she follows us. Well, she can't really be all that prolific. Well, I mean, she will be now because she's our follower of the week. But she only has like 1,300 followers, but she's posted over 4,000 times, which is...
There's a lot of posts. I can't lie to you.
A lot of posts. It looks like we've liked some of her posts. Let's see which ones. Mostly cat ones.
Right. I mean, if we see a cat, we're gonna like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So Faith Marlowe, our follower of the week, which is exciting. It's always exciting to have a follower of the week.
Yeah, we're blessed to even have a follower to speak of. Even just one is a blessing. We've got 673 of them.
Yeah, that number has been there for a while, but that's okay. Everything's working out.
I go on waves of social media interaction. I haven't been on it much lately.
I was thinking about if we had like a Twitch channel and we just had our weekly podcast
just playing on a loop.
Well, I mean, that would be interesting, but just like live stream this one time. But then there's no video, so that's kind of the whole point of Twitch.
Right.
I don't know if I'm ready to have video yet, but
we might get there. Have the video version of the podcast.
Yeah, maybe year 2.
Year 2 coming up.
Speaking of coming up, let's just get to the movie.
Let's do that. 15 minutes in, I think it's movie time.
This week was a Jesse movie,
Hmm.
Run Lola Run, which of all the movie titles in the world, I think this was the most you know what I'm trying to say.
It
The movie
describes
was
its
about,
content the most.
yeah, exactly. She ran the whole time.
There was a lot of running, and her name was Lola.
Yeah, I think they probably said "Run Lola Run" at least once,
They must have, right?
maybe. It was a very short movie, though.
It was. I liked that part of it.
I mean, it was good in the sense of it didn't take up much time to complete the one movie you had to watch a week.
Hmm.
But I think this movie could have used like 10 more minutes, make it a 90-minute movie,
Hmm.
even longer.
It could have done with a little more length, like to flesh some things out, perhaps.
What did you think of your movie choice, your German movie choice? First German movie of the podcast?
Well, I thought it was a lot of fun, and fun rhymes with run. So I don't think that's a coincidence.
Fun Lola Run? Fun Lola Fun?
Fun Lola Run, or Run Lola Fun, or Fun Lola Fun. That's the three versions that you could use.
Right.
Yeah, one thing I thought was interesting because in university I took a German film study class, and this film was like brought up because it's a very famous German film, apparently. Although you had never heard of it, and most people I bring it up to have never heard of it. But then I was thinking, I don't know how much we could talk about this in like a film study class. I thought like they were bringing it up like, oh, I was going to pick Run Lola Run, but that's the easy choice. I was like, I don't know what we would talk about in terms of, a lot of the films we watched in the German film study class was like movies that came out around the war, and then like post-war, and how was it clearly influenced by their post-war society, and then like the Berlin Wall and that whole thing. A lot of the discussion was based on that. There wasn't like a lot of that in this movie. There was perhaps a tiny bit, but yeah, there's not a whole lot of themes that are perhaps centered around German, society, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, this was a fun movie for sure.
Yeah, it was a lot of.
Your...
It was fun. Yes, let's go back to that. It was a lot of fun. Perhaps not very good for a film study class.
Well, the only thing I could think of for a film study point of view is the concept of like the three lives, like the three segments.
Mm-hmm.
They also played with animation, which was interesting.
Yep, that's true.
So like this was apparently a very important movie for cinema, which I didn't realize because I had never heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie also was a big inspiration for a lot of other things that came after it.
Right.
The music video for "It's My Life" by Bon Jovi was inspired by the film.
Oh,
it's my life.
It's now or never. Mm-hmm.
The film was an inspiration for the 3-day cycle in The Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask.
No,
which I thought was interesting.
That's cool.
The Simpsons parody. The Simpsons had an episode parodying
Inspired
it.
by this. Yes.
Yeah.
That's an easier word.
Pinky and the Brain, apparently, they have they had a remake of Pinky and the Brain.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like a new series out. They had an episode about it. Pinky must acquire $100,000 to save Brain, who's being held hostage after losing the bag with the money he was going to use to buy a rare isotope to power his latest invention, which is basically the plot of this movie.
Yeah, to an extent. I like how I can pick out your reading voice. You're just reading that. But anyway, go ahead.
Wikipedia.org/wiki run_Lola_run. They remade this movie in Hindi, and it was
Ooh.
released on Netflix in February of this year.
Oh, that's fun.
So in that sense, it wouldn't be a very long film studies class, but there's
Yeah,
some
I
to talk
guess.
about.
I guess when I think about my film study class, it was a lot of like, what are like the political influences that you're seeing in this film, which perhaps I guess might not be a long part of the discussion of this film, but more so, like you said, the different like art styles, like the animation, and then I guess there was a lot about like, I guess perhaps free will or like how much you have a choice in things. That was, I guess, a pretty big theme, or how like little tiny things can change a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that was kind of fun seeing that. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
This movie didn't take a single break. It was like action 100% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
It was go, 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 run, Lola, run, the whole movie, which would have been exhausting if it was a full-length movie.
Right.
But, I mean, it was kind of exhausting a little bit.
Yeah, in a way, and it was like that too. Like, I guess the moment, because we relived the same sequence 3 times. The moment that is perhaps less action is when she's like confronting her father. Those 3 times, like it slows down, but even then, it's like really tense, and so it has a lot of action in a different kind of way. So like that moment where there could be like a bit of a breather, it doesn't really happen.
Right. Yeah, it's a different kind. It's not like...
It's not like movement; it's like words.
yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I don't agree with in this Wikipedia article is that the Lola character, which was the main character, is often compared to Lara Croft from the 1996 video game Tomb Raider.
Don't really see it.
Don't see it.
They're both
at all,
women.
no. They're both women.
Yeah, that's about as far as I get with the comparison.
They don't even look alike.
No,
I mean, it was a
like
pretty... well, it wasn't like a pretty film, but like it was cool seeing Berlin, I guess.
Mm-hmm. It was well shot too. Like it was never like the parts where there was a lot of action. It was never like too busy. It was like focused action but like that also incorporated a lot of movement. I don't know. Like there's so much running and excitement, but not like overwhelming excitement. And yeah, it was cool seeing like the city and yeah, it was shot well.
Yeah, I thought it was a good movie.
It was a good movie, but it's one of those movies like it was a good movie, and you're like, well, why was it good? So I don't know. It's just like a lot of running, like a lot of stuff happening.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was. You're right. It's hard to explain. It just seemed like an important movie.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff happened that you don't normally see, so it was like unique in that sense.
Yep, and the music was kick-ass. I like the music, and it was very 90s. Like very 90s dance club music.
This movie came out in 98. It was the German entry for the foreign film at the Academy Awards,
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't get as far as getting nominated,
No.
which is fair, I guess.
I guess so. I would have to know what other films got nominated. It's fun also like seeing one of these movies, like maybe you've heard of it and like, or maybe you haven't quite heard of it, and it's not. That's what am I trying to say? You pick a movie and then you realize, oh, that person's in it. And Lola, I remember her from the Bourne movies. Have you seen the Bourne movies?
Yeah, she definitely looked familiar to me, so I had to look up why she was familiar to me, and that's one of the reasons why.
Yeah, she was like in the first 2 or something, and then the last one or something like that. But yeah, that was fun. I'm like, oh, I know you. It's fun. It's like you cling on to those people you recognize.
I recognize nobody else in the movie.
No, me neither.
They're all German. How did you feel about those snapshots of what happened, what happens to the secondary characters.
Like the people that she runs into.
Yeah.
It was like kind of different, interesting, maybe overused a little. I don't know. That's where when I said that, like when I was thinking, oh well, was there any sort of like political commentary in any of these? The those snapshots, there was a bit. There was like some moments like with the military, and I thought maybe it had to do with like like the whole Berlin Wall like spy thing. I thought maybe I saw snapshots of that, but I could have just been projecting that onto it, and that wasn't actually what I saw. But I don't know. It was like for most more often than not, it was like a bit of a dark turn that the general film didn't really have, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know if it really added anything to the movie, but
Yeah, it wasn't like my favorite part, but it was like, okay, there's like a little bit of a seeing the underbelly of like the facade of these people's lives. I guess it's like kind of interesting. It's a little different.
my favorite part was when the ambulance hit the glass pane.
That was cool.
Then the guys were just holding it still. Well, like they had those glass glove things
Mm-hmm.
just to stand there without glass.
Classic big pane of glass bit.
Yeah. Okay. You have any other fun notes?
I guess not. No.
According to IMDb, the English dub of this film is widely regarded as one of the worst in history.
Oh, really? Oh, well, I'm glad I didn't watch the English dub then.
I didn't know there was an English dub.
Neither. I mean, most films, I guess, do get one.
The film contains almost 1,600 transitions. So it's like an edit, a cut, a dissolve, fade. And so there's only 71 minutes. So it doesn't include the credits. So that equals about 2.7 seconds per shot, which I think
That is a lot of cuts. It speaks to the action that we saw.
yeah. So I mean, not bad.
Well, how would you rate Lola's running? Like if you were to see that person, you know how sometimes you're driving along and you see somebody going for like a jog and you go, that's a weird runner. Like, oh, they got some weird style going on. They clearly aren't very good at running. What would you rate Lola's running? Out of 10?
If I can remember correctly, she wasn't a very good runner. Didn't look natural.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I watched this movie like a week and a half ago.
Right.
So it didn't stand out as like that bad comically.
Right.
But let me see if I can find it. Well, yeah, because they do it slow mo basically.
Yeah. Well, there's some slow mo, and then there's like some of her, like, going full speed.
So maybe that's what adds to
I would
the
say
weirdness.
Like, if I saw her running, I wouldn't think she's a weird runner at all. I would think she's really given it, and decent form. I'd give her a 7 out of 10.
Do you want to get into scores then?
We can get into scores, and we shall just. Yeah, I'm not even
just
going to acknowledge it.
Just ignore everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, then I'm going to start with acting.
Okay.
We normally start with acting, but I'm going to start with acting this time.
Mm-hmm.
It's a German film. We talked about that a little bit. So a little difficult to judge. A German film from the 90s that was apparently like you got 93% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not for its acting. It's hard to judge the complete acting because we really only heard them in German, and so it sounded fine to us, I guess. But with that said, I didn't have any issues with anybody's acting.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody ruined the movie for me. The dad was a bit brash.
Mm-hmm.
The woman, the mistress, was that. I mean, that's probably the weakest part of the movie for me. Was like the dad mistress thing, but I gave acting a 7.
Okay.
7 out of 10 because I thought everybody did a pretty fine job, considering.
Yeah, I thought Lola and Manny, the performers, did quite a good job. And yes, I agree that the father and his mistress perhaps was a low light in terms of acting, but overall, yeah, I thought it was pretty well performed. And that's the same score. I'm giving it a 7
That's the first time it's ever happened in 37 episodes. The same score.
for acting, probably.
Okay, well then next we would do an ending score. How did you like the ending?
Um, yeah, it was all right, I guess. I don't know. It's like, well, it's like 3 endings, kind of. And I was like, oh, and which one is the real ending? I guess.
Probably the ending of the movie.
Yeah, the ending of the movie is probably the real ending. That's a good point. Um, yeah, I thought it was. I mean, that didn't really stand out. I mean, I can't even remember how it ended. I was just like, oh, I think she like goes and it's the casino one, right? That's the real ending.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was fine. 6.
Wow. Well, to start off, I also gave ending a 6.
Oh
That wasn't planned. I
no.
wrote it down beforehand, but I didn't really like the ending.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like how it played out, or like how the ending was in contrast to the rest of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So like it almost seemed too convenient how they got out of it.
Yeah.
It ended too happy and perfect for a movie where everything seemed to go wrong for them. Then all of a sudden it goes right. So another weird thing about this movie is that she has that scream. She screams and breaks glass all the time.
Right.
Never really explained, but this isn't really a movie where they explain stuff. So she does that at the roulette table. She
Mhm.
wants it to hit 20. She bets on 20 because she really wants to get this money to save her boyfriend. So she does it and she screams and then it lands on 20. It's like, okay, cool. Manny runs into the same guy who takes the bag of money at the beginning, trades his loaded gun for the bag of money.
Mhm.
Um, and that works out fine. So then they both meet in the middle of the road outside the grocery store, and they both. Well, I guess he gives the money to the guy he owes money to, and everything's fine. But then she has the bag of money as well, so they have a lot of money at the end of the movie. So they're happy. It just seemed to me that they spent a lot more time on the first 2 out of the 3 of the segments, and then like didn't really give the ending too much of a care.
Right.
It's like wrap it up nicely. But I give it a 6 because it it wasn't the best, but it also wasn't like a super bad ending that would ruin the movie. So 6.
That's fair. Just quickly, when you mentioned like her screaming and like breaking glass, when in that German film studies class, we watched a movie called The Tin Drum. Have you seen that?
No, of course not.
Okay. Well, there's a kid in that movie, and he screams and he breaks glass. I wonder if that was a homage to that,
Homage.
perhaps. Could have been. Could be.
Doubtful.
I don't know. I
But
think
maybe.
it probably was.
Maybe.
Okay,
Doubtful.
that's fine.
Well, that would be like us saying, what's a Canadian movie?
What's a Canadian movie?
Yeah, so that'd be like us. What's that? Like those two Canadian dudes
Right.
who drink beer.
Bob and something McKenzie.
Bob and Doug McKenzie. It's like us being like, oh, they sit on the couch and drink beer in that
Yeah.
one. So, but they also do that in this one. So it's like maybe they got that from maybe it's a homage.
Okay. Well, forget that then.
Okay, well that was acting and that was ending. Now the big one. Score out of 10. I don't know. At this point, I don't know who's going to give it a better score out of 10. So I'm just going to let you go first.
Oh, you want me to go first?
Yeah, you let me know how you feel about it
Gosh.
overall.
Okay. Well, I just, like I said, it was just kind of like a lot of fun. And I didn't have to think too hard. It wasn't like I didn't have to like analyze it too hard, I guess. Just kind of like run in and like a kind of interesting concept with the reliving of the same scenario 3 times. And then, but my brain like was trying to find some sort of deeper meaning in certain parts. It didn't really get there, but that's all right. I didn't hold it against it or anything like that. It's just kind of like an enjoyable movie. I gave it a 7.5.
That's insane. Okay, so I also gave it a 7.5.
Okay.
I'll send you a picture of my scoring just so you know I'm not just stealing your content.
Right. You didn't like read my mind or something.
Yeah, so 7 out of 10. 7.5 out of 10, sorry. Just a little picture there. This film, an important film for cinema. Not even just for German cinema, but like cinema for the world, apparently, because it gave us the second, well, not the second, but like what we think of as the second Legend of Zelda video game.
Yeah.
I know there are other ones, but they had a unique style, a lot of action. I mean, you couldn't like, this wasn't a movie where you can look at your phone and also pay attention because you'll miss some stuff.
That's true.
Pretty important. I liked the 3 segments. And then I also liked how, she died a few times. Well, she died once and then he died once. And then she woke up and like replayed the day over again, but different things happened for a different outcome. And I felt like we didn't need an explanation about that. It just kind of got it. It's like a choose your own adventure book. It's like when you make a bad decision and then had to start over. So yeah, 7.5. I'm glad you picked it. Good movie.
Thank you. I was happy with that one.
Yeah, the next movie probably you probably won't like it as much, but
okay.
Let's see if there's any. No,
is it like notoriously bad or something?
Well, we don't know that.
Okay.
I think that's it for Run, Lola Run. Good movie. Maybe it changes the way I look at other movies. I don't know.
Could be. If it's that influential on us, who knows? I got to say.
Originally,
you go right ahead.
No, I'm moving on, but you're not moving on. So.
Well, I was going to say, with a quick Google search, I put the Tin Drum, Run Lola Run. And it says here, Lola's ability to shatter glass by screaming is almost certainly a shout out to the Tin Drum. Okay. I mean, that one person said it.
I don't see it.
Okay, that's fine. You haven't seen it. That's true. You haven't seen the Tin Drum.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay.
Okay, so originally, I wanted to, for episode 38, our next movie, I wanted to watch the original Power Rangers from 1995, which we still might do, but that was only because the Green Ranger died in real life. So a bit of a homage, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
because that was a movie I watched a lot growing up, and I wanted to watch it. I haven't watched it as an adult, and I wanted to watch it in an adult lens.
Right.
But then I realized, wait a second, it's December now. It'll be closer to the middle of December by the time we put the next episode out.
Yes.
And what happens in December but holiday movies?
Mm-hmm.
There is a movie coming out called Violent Night with David Harbour from Stranger Things, playing Santa,
Mm-hmm.
where he has an axe or something and kills people who are trying to kill him. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that reminded me of another movie that we had watched previously called Silent Night, Deadly Night,
Mm-hmm.
about a Santa. Or
We watched Deadly Night. No, Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. That's what we
Did
watched.
we?
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't even watch the first one.
No, we didn't watch the first one.
Okay. Well, that changes things because my pick for the movie was part 2 because I thought we watched the first one. But we haven't watched the first one. We've only watched the second one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's the one that has Garbage Day. That's part 2.
All right. Okay. So Silent Night, Deadly Night, the original one
Uh-huh.
is, well, okay, I thought this was going to be the first sequel we did, but I guess not.
Nope.
So because Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, I
Mhm.
don't remember much about it at all.
Oh, it was pretty garbage, I can tell you that. Garbage Day,
But
get it?
I looked at it, and it apparently had a lot of clips from the first movie. So I'm like, okay, well, if we don't remember the first movie, at least the second movie will have a lot of clips to remind us. But if we
It's not too late to change your mind
about what?
about what movie you're about to pick. Are you picking Silent Night, Deadly Night?
The original Silent Night, Deadly Night, yeah.
Okay.
I googled Silent Night, Deadly Night, and one of the first ones that come up is Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, Garbage Day.
Right.
So there are a lot of if you think that we basically have watched the first one by watching the second one, should we watch the third one? Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, Better Watch Out. What was it called?
So we've watched the second one. We're going to watch the third one, but never having seen the first one.
Well, no, I guess we have to watch the first one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're going to watch the first one. Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Okay.
The first one, which I think...
What's the running time on that bad boy?
The running time on this one, you'll be happy. Well, the unrated version is only 85 minutes.
Uh-huh.
But if we don't get the unrated version, it's only 82 minutes.
Ooh. 3 extra minutes for the unrated version. We'll have to make sure we watch the same version.
Yeah.
That's like when we watched The Toxic
yeah.
Avenger that first time, and we're like, I don't get the hype. And then we watched the second time that was the actual like intended version. And there was a lot more entertaining.
Yeah. So, well, that one was bad too because like it was quite a bit. 3 minutes wouldn't that be that much? I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But Toxic Avenger seems like it was at least 20 minutes.
Yeah. Yes, there was a lot more things that we got to see.
So, okay, I'm on the Wikipedia page, and I'm going to read a few sentences for you. It's not going to ruin anything.
Right, I don't want the plot ruined for me.
So it has a 44% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which is not even close to the worst movie we've watched on this.
Right.
Siskel and Ebert condemned the film. Siskel went as far as to read the names of the film's production crew on air, telling them, "Shame on you." Gene Siskel, which may he rest in peace, also said that all the money the filmmakers were making off this film was blood money.
Okay.
Another film reviewer, Leonard Maltin, denounced the movie, calling it a worthless splatter film, setting it as a bomb. and asking, "What's next? The Easter Bunny is a child molester?"
Ah,
So I think
yeah, I think you've picked a real gem here.
this film was released as a double feature disc alongside its sequel in 2003, which I think would be great to watch for the holidays.
Yeah,
But I think we're doing Silent Night, Deadly Night, the first one, which won't make a lot of sense for anybody else. But this podcast has always been just for me and you. So
pretty much.
Silent Night, Deadly Night 1, 1984 American psychological slasher film, which is holiday related.
It is. Well, that's a great choice, Josh. I'm excited for that one.
I thought I guess that makes sense that we didn't watch that one. We watched the sequel because you had the VHS. So.
Yeah, I just happened to find it, and I was like, "Oh, I've heard good things about the second one. I've heard it's got some funny, quotable moments." And then I also remember us absolutely hating that movie, except for that one scene.
Well, then we'll have a lot to watch or a lot to talk about. Okay. Part 2 has a 25% Rotten Tomato score.
Okay,
So part 1 better.
right. According to the critics.
Yeah. How are you gonna watch it? No idea.
Yeah, that'll be a whole adventure in and of itself.
I would look it to see if it's on YouTube, but that ruins podcasts apparently. So
Yeah, we found out the hard way. That's a no-go.
okay, yeah. So that's exciting. Anything you want to talk about before we wrap things up?
I don't think so. No.
Do you know where you want to go with your next movie choice?
I've been tossing around some ideas in my head. There's like one that I want to watch for myself that I've never seen. And I might use that, but I'll have to run it by you and see if you've seen it. My guess is probably not. But then it's also like too similar to a movie we've already seen, so I don't know if we could do it. But anyway, I'll run some ideas past you.
We're almost running out of movies though.
Yeah, we are a few away from just nothing left to talk about.
Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 is on YouTube, but I don't know if the first one is. That's like, it seems to be the one that people know better.
Oh yeah, all from that Garbage Day thing.
It's all from that Garbage Day thing.
Yeah, that's all it takes sometimes.
Come on, give me the line.
Garbage day!
Yeah, so it's just like he yells "Garbage Day" and then shoots the guy through the garbage can.
Mm-hmm. Very Christmas, very Halloweeny. Very Christmassy.
So we have to watch the first one because the second one's so bad, and why put ourselves through that again?
Yeah. How great would that have been if you picked a movie that I shouldn't have said anything. I was like, we'll just watch the same movie again.
Well, it's been years.
That's true. It has. I do remember hating it though.
Yeah, but you haven't seen the first one.
Yeah, it might just make a whole lot more sense.
Okay, well, what about like bad horror Santa movie? Well, maybe I'll just do bad horror Christmas movie. You seen like Krampus or whatever it's called?
No, I know there's like Black Christmas. That's a famous one.
The first one is Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
There's a movie called Silent Night, Bloody Night
Oh, yeah.
from 1972. Let's see that one. Yeah, it's a Lloyd Kaufman. Why does that name sound familiar? Oh, because that's the Toxic Avenger guy.
Sure is.
John Carradine in a supporting. Oh, that's not the same guy. Well, do we like? It's 72 though.
Well,
Well,
this is some
maybe
riveting stuff here.
this one's on YouTube. Oh, sorry, do you have something to talk about? Anything you want to
No.
plug before we go?
No, nothing like that. I'm just curious what you're doing right now. You're just like Googling bad Christmas movies?
Yeah, because that's kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted to watch a really bad Christmas movie because it's December and we're heading into the Christmas season.
Right. I had that.
Don't worry about it.
No, I'm not going to worry about that. I had the realization the other day. It's a movie I used to watch a lot as a kid. It's called Jingle All the Way. I'm sure you've heard of that.
Yeah, well, I owned it on VHS for a long time.
Me too. And that was the thing in my household. If I owned it, it's one of the few movies that I did own, and I just would watch it over and over again. And I remember loving that movie as a kid. That movie sucks. That movie is straight up garbage.
Yes, but I think it does what it was supposed to do.
Right. It was very entertaining for me back when I was a child.
Exactly. Like it's not supposed to be like It's a Wonderful Life or something. It's just supposed to be
right.
A garbage Christmas movie. There are so many garbage Christmas movies.
Oh,
we watched this weekend. We watched Deck the Halls with Danny DeVito and Matthew Broderick, which was filmed in BC.
Uh-huh.
It's a garbage Christmas movie. Christmas with the Cranks we watched, decent,
yeah,
but kind of a garbage Christmas movie. There's a lot of garbage out there that people watch every year because it's about Christmas.
Yeah, and the little traditions and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so I've changed my mind on the movie choice.
Okay.
So instead of watching Silent Night, Deadly Night, the first one, since we've already watched the second one, not on the podcast, and didn't like it, we're going Silent Night, Bloody Night.
Okay.
It's a 1972 movie. I will send you the YouTube link. It's on YouTube, the full thing.
Oh, great. Okay.
It's not in black and white, but it's a horror. The YouTube calls it a horror mystery thriller. Full-length movie. It's, like I said before, it's by the Toxic Avenger guy. So you know it's good. It was filmed in 1970, but not released theatrically until 1972 under the alternate name Night of the Dark Full Moon. Re-released in 1981 is a movie called Death House.
Yeah.
Yeah. The plot follows a series of murders that occur in a small New England town on Christmas Eve after a man inherits a family estate, which was once an insane asylum.
See, I'm looking up this movie, and I don't think Lloyd Kaufman ever touched this movie.
It doesn't really look like it, does it?
No, it's too early for him.
Well, it says it. Co-produced by Lloyd Kaufman.
Perhaps it was produced by him.
He probably didn't do anything. Like, it's just co-produced.
We should just make this podcast about just like discussing the movies we're going to watch, but don't actually ever watch them.
It's a good segment. It's one of our best ones.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay, so are we locking it in? Is this your movie lock-in of the week?
My movie lock-in of the week is Silent Night, Bloody Night. Yes, I will share it with you, the YouTube. And then we'll watch it, and then there's two different YouTube. Well, that one doesn't look as good. There's so many YouTube videos, YouTube movies. 6.1. Okay, which one is? Okay, this one. Okay, the one I'm going to send you has 200,000 views. The other ones have like 6,000.
Okay.
So
this one's like a well-established. It's been seen.
Yeah, and I kind of skimmed through it a little bit, and it looks decent.
Decent quality, watchable.
Well, it was only on my phone because I didn't want to try it on.
No,
But
certainly
I'll
not.
do it on the once we wrap this up. I'll do it on the laptop and then send it to you, and then we'll do that, and then yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed our longest episode yet.
This episode isn't the longest one yet, but thanks.
Got to be close.
We're at about, I would say, 56 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
There was a little bit of an issue in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I think our longest, it was over an hour anyways.
Okay, well, it's close then. What a journey it's been.
Yeah, for one of the shortest movies, one of the longest episodes.
Yep,
We spent the first 15 minutes talking about soccer, so.
that is true. And the failures of our postal system.
Well, one guy, okay?
Okay, just one guy. Just one guy.
I only park in the designated residential areas. It says
Well, that's
residents
good.
only. That's me.
You are a resident.
You know, we can park in paid parking places and don't have to pay, and we won't get a ticket.
That's a flex right there. Why don't you just take those trucks on your days off and you never have to pay for parking?
They get mad.
Well, too bad for them.
Is that the music I hear?
Oh, well, I can hear something.
Okay, bye. Thanks for listening.
Okay, bye. You've made it to the end. Yes, you've made it to the end. The podcast is done. Josh had some fun. Jesse was there too. We'll see you next week. What movie will it be? We're happy to have you. Goodbye.